Hello everyone, welcome back once again to I've Been Playing, where this week we're talking about Stray. Not him. He wasn't a stray anyway, but there is a cat involved. Stray was just released on July 19th for the PS4, PS5, and PC. And if you interact with any sort of gaming media even a little bit, there's no doubt you've already heard about or seen some things about this game. It has kind of taken over everything. But the basic premise is that you are a cat. Not a particularly extraordinary cat. All cats are extraordinary, but you're no different than any other cat. And you have an adventure through a robot-filled city, basically. There's more to it than that. There's a lot of world building and a lot of intrigue there with kind of why the world is the way it is, but a lot of that you have to discover yourself through missions and even some side missions, none of which take especially long, but all of which build the story. So I can't say much more about the world or the story without spoiling something that is much better found out on your own in the game. But there's a lot more to discover and interact with and do in the game than you may think when you first come across it, because you're like, well, I'm just a cat, what could I possibly do? Most of what you can do is platforming. Obviously, as a cat, you can jump anywhere, pretty much. So there's a lot of climbing and clambering over stuff and running away from things on occasion and solving puzzles simply by moving around the environment or sometimes moving things around the environment. None of them are particularly difficult, but they are here and there throughout the story, especially. You also eventually pick up a drone who follows you around. You nickname it, or to be more accurate, it nicknames itself B12. And on occasion you'll have to use that as well to solve puzzles, because you can use it to hack into computers to open doors and similar things. So that, in essence, is a bulk of the gameplay. You can, of course, do other things that cats do, like knock stuff off of shelves, specifically paint cans, it seems like, but also if you just walk along a shelf and knock bottles off, you can do that too. There are also occasional places where you can just lie down and relax, and it's really, really soothing because the controller starts to vibrate lightly and purr just like a cat, and it's very soothing, for me at least. My cats don't like it. They were very disturbed by the fact that the controller was meowing at me while I was playing, and yeah, they were not fans. That's another thing you can do as a cat. You can meow. You have a dedicated meow button. The controls aren't that complicated, there aren't a lot of them, but one of them is a meow button. And really, what else could you ask for? Now, that's all I know thus far, and have encountered thus far. I'm pretty far along the story, I would say. I know it's not a particularly long game, but I'm not quite done yet. But that's all I've encountered so far. I have learned a decent amount about the world, not nearly as much as I would like to, and I don't know how much I am going to learn, or how much I might miss, because I'm not necessarily going for all of the memory collectibles, at least not this playthrough, assuming I play it more than once. But that's not a bad thing. I think from the looks of things, they probably have a game that's just long enough to tell the story it needs to, and then it doesn't overstay its welcome, which is always nice, because there are some games, like one of my favorite games, if you don't know, is Alien Isolation. I love it, it's terrifying, but I love it. But it's also like 3 hours too long, like they should have stopped, so I would rather have it be relatively short and actually tell the story it needs to, and then just stop and leave and be done, than have them pad it out anymore. So it seems to be that, which is really nice, really concise story. Hopefully I get the answers I want, but who knows. Back to the controls for a minute. As I said, there aren't very many. There's a jump button, but it's contextual, so you don't have to worry about missing. There's a meow button, there's an interact with things button, and honestly, I think that's about it. Well, running. You can also run. But there's not much more to it than that, so it's a relatively simple game, and I don't mean that in a bad way, it just is easy to control, and it feels very smooth. It looks very pretty as well, although on occasion I've had some graphical issues, mainly things clipping through things. That's the one I've noticed the most, but it looks very nice. And the cat is adorable, but all cats are adorable, so I don't know why you'd be surprised by that. Also, while you can technically fail and technically die, you don't really see the cat get into too many problems. There are a couple of spots where it was a bit stressful, and the cat does have some things happen to it that are not necessarily pleasant to watch, but it isn't graphic in any way, and from the couple of times I've failed and died, it kind of zooms out a bit. I mean, there's this horrible noise that goes along with it, but I don't have to see anything, which is nice. As a cat owner, it's hard to watch on occasion, especially there's a bit towards the beginning that I was not a big fan of and was very sad, but I don't think they're going to have anything major happen to the cat at all. I really, really hope not. I feel like they probably know that their audience doesn't want to see the cat get massively hurt or any of the animals, because there are a few other cats, at least at the beginning. I think they know better. I hope they know better, because I will be so mad if I have to watch cats be in distress for longer than the like 30 seconds I've had to on occasion when I fail. So if you're worried about that, there is some peril, but it doesn't seem to be horrible, and it's not gratuitous in any way, and they try not to show it as much as they possibly can. And I think generally, I think I kind of alluded to this or talked about this a little bit already, but there's a lot more to the game than you may expect there to be, especially in terms of story and stuff, but just in the scope of what you can do and where you can explore and where it lets you explore, it's a lot more open than I thought it was gonna be. It's fairly linear, to be fair, but there are some, as I mentioned, side missions and stuff. None of them take particularly long, but you can explore different areas in the section of the city or world that you're in. So, you know, you can hop inside people's houses, you can rub up against people's legs to say hello, and then they get, because they're robots, they get little hearts on their faces, and it's really adorable, and I hate that it's so cute. I don't, actually, but it's so cute. I just want to spend time being a cat, and like I said, you can knock stuff off of shelves, which is hilarious. Like, it's so well animated, too. It's so much like a cat. It's impressively like a cat. And I think, you know, it's relatively easy and it's relatively stress-free. On occasion, like I said, you'll get into areas or sections where you have to run or avoid things, or parts that might be a little more time-sensitive than others, but it's a fairly easy game, so if you're looking for something, you know, not too stressful, not too difficult necessarily, just kind of a relaxing, chill puzzle game, it's a lot of fun, and you're a cat and it's adorable. Like, what else do you want? What else do you need, even? I'm really enjoying it. I'm looking forward to learning more about the world, and we'll see where the story goes from here. And that's been my experience with Stray. What have you seen of this game, or have you played it at all for yourself? Let me know down in the comments down below, and any of your other thoughts about the game. Leave a like if you enjoyed this. Consider subscribing if you're not subscribed yet, because I do one of these every Monday that I'm able to play a new game. You can check out all sorts of stuff on my channel. I do all sorts of things. I play all sorts of games. I might have a bit of a problem, but you can check out some of my other stuff as well, and I will see you next time.